Hey guys, welcome to the 8th podcast of Comic Book Debate. I'm your host, as always, Shiraz Farooqi, and I'm joined by my brother Zayyan,
What's up, guys?
my cousin Omer,
What's up?
and my other cousin Samir.
Hey guys.
So today's a special podcast. We're not running with any guests this time. There's no big superhero movie release to cover. We're actually chilling at Umer's home court for this podcast, taking a little Eid vacation to Canada. So recording this right now, just chilling. And let's just get into it. I think this time we had you guys actually submit questions to us through Twitter and Vero. So I think we can knock some of them out of the way. We'll also talk about BlacKkKlansman. It's a movie we all saw recently. Yeah, it's a great movie. And we'll discuss, maybe we'll take a few minutes to discuss all of our favorite films of all time, regardless of...
I think we'll just jump around.
Yeah, we'll jump around. We'll see how things go. But, you want to start with some of the questions? Maybe Zayyan can throw one out and we'll just kind of see how it goes. So what was the first question we got? You can say the name of the person who said it too if you want.
Yeah, I guess this is like an easy one to start with. I mean, this is from Derek of Comic Fade.
Oh yeah, great Comic Fade, great site,
Yep,
good guys.
definitely check them out at Comic Fade. So he asked, who are your favorite supervillains and why? DC and Marvel.
So you want to start it off, Zayyan? Just say your favorite.
Well, I mean, DC, I think it's obvious. Joker #1 for me by far. I mean, he's just such an insane character, and just examining his psyche and seeing what he's all about is just so interesting to me. And I think as a villain, he's unmatched.
I mean, all of Batman's villains were really good. Honestly,
That's
all
true.
Batman's
That is
villains.
true. His Rose Gallery is pretty good.
Like the Batman-centric villains, really good. Darkseid, Lex, they're all pretty good. But out of my favorites, I would say, Joker. I mean, honestly, Joker. I think Joker's a fan favorite to everybody. So mine would be Joker too.
I mean, I guess if we're talking about Marvel, and I mean from the MCU, I think Killmonger was my favorite villain. His backstory was so touching.
It was lit though, yeah.
True.
And then for me, well, you have something to say? For me, I'm thinking, again, you guys know I'm a Superman shill, so I'm gonna go with Superman villains. But even though this is like a major DC villain, Darkseid, I think we were just talking about it a few hours ago, the four of us. But like Darkseid's motivations are so unique and so specifically tailored for him. And people like Thanos, who are also great villains, we just saw him in Infinity War. They were based off of Darkseid. So I think giving some love to the OG in a sense. I'll give love there. So good. Thanks for the question, Derek. Zayyan, give me the next question, man.
All right, so this is from a longtime supporter, Qual Monster G.
Oh, nice.
He asked a fun question. Outside of Marvel and DC, what are some other nerd things you guys like?
Everything.
Literally everything. Yeah.
Lucky, that's true. But
I went to everything.
For me, Lord of the Rings is at the top of everything.
Star Wars.
Lord of the Rings 6 out of 5 for me. No films have been able to touch the magnificence of those films.
12-hour
Honestly.
journey. Yeah.
But I mean, aside from that, I love Harry Potter as well, and Star Wars. I mean, we have a touch in almost everything. I think the only one we aren't really into is Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
No, but even then, he talked about great guy, but he talked about all nerd things. I mean, there's nothing that we don't get our hands with. Video games, we're playing it. We're playing anime. It's there's a wide palette. And that's the great thing about being a nerd and kind of embracing the geek world. There's so many things to tap into and find comfort with. And again, I'll back up everyone saying Lord of the Rings is the apex fantasy genre adventure. And then Samir mentioned Star Wars and of course Harry Potter. We'll literally I was thinking about this the other day, we are actually the Harry Potter generation.
Yeah.
In the sense that we got an experience with Harry Potter that no one else will. That we grew up with Harry and Ron.
Yeah, every year you would look forward to a Harry Potter film. That's why I remember Harry Potter 7 came out. You had that feeling that
it was the end of the journey.
It's the end of the journey, yeah.
And I remember when Harry Potter 7 came out, it was 2012, the part 2, and that's when I was graduating high school. So it was kind of my journey through middle school, high school was actually coinciding with Harry. So Harry's final year beating Voldemort was the year I graduated high school. So it's especially you see Harry growing up and going through all his phases, and you're going through the same stuff at the same time, and it gives you actually an extra experience that I think someone who watches now, 10 years after the fact, they'll get a different experience. Not to saying Harry Potter is a timeless timeless property, so I think everyone can enjoy it. But I think since we were the first generation to kind of get the books and everything.
I mean, I was kind of young when that came out. I mean, I'm younger. I'm like a lot younger than the rest of the group.
Right, so
But
true.
if we're talking about the endings, like going back to Lord of the Rings, the ending for Lord of the Rings is by far the greatest ending to anything.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
If
so
you haven't
good.
seen it, I really recommend seeing it.
Yeah,
dude,
that's
that
so good.
ending can make a grown man cry.
Yo, it's grown
Well,
man
it
tears.
did make grown.
Yeah, it's grown man tears. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's again. We said with anime, me and Zayyan are watching Dragon Ball. Samir's always watching something, right?
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online, right?
Yeah, everyone thinks that's a cancer in anime for some reason. I thought it was pretty good.
You gotta enjoy it. You gotta enjoy,
I enjoyed
right?
it.
And I don't watch Boruto.
Boruto, right?
Oh, nah.
Oh nah. I'm not into the anime stuff.
I'm
Uh,
not gonna
man.
lie, the Naruto
I'm
was
not
pretty
into
good.
Not into anime stuff. but
Naruto, Fairy Tail, One Piece.
So Samir knows more anime than the rest
One
of us.
Punch Man.
Yeah,
One
Yeah.
Punch Man.
One Punch Man's good though, yeah.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones counts as another thing. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course
Game of
it is.
Thrones, everything. Yeah, it's part of that. Game of Thrones lit.
Game of Thrones better than Lord of the Rings.
Oh, no,
Ah,
chill,
now-
chill. Yeah, keep it chill.
now you got
You
too
know,
far.
with that, you have to move to the next question
Ah,
because
yeah, next
Samir,
question, next
before
Yes,
blasphemy
Samir,
gets
you
too
went
far.
too
Don't
far.
Game of
don't say
Thrones
stuff like
is
that.
so good.
Listen, the ripoff is can't be better than me.
First of all,
Alright.
chill out. Just chill out.
Bro.
Just chill out with that.
Dude, Aragorn singing is better than freaking the whole thing.
Yeah.
So here's another fun question we're gonna do. Is a nice easy one. This is from @farman_bond007. Thanks for the question.
Bet.
So he asked, how would you rank the Marvel Netflix shows?
All right, so
Ooh.
Samir, you want to start that one?
Ooh.
Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and then Iron Fist.
Where would you put
And
Defenders in that? though?
Defenders, I wasn't really fond of it.
Bro.
I think I put that. I don't know, tied with Iron Fist.
All right. So yeah, for
My
me,
list is the same. Low key.
What do you got?
Loki.
Low key.
yes, I think ours are all pretty similar. I mean, I have Daredevil's like the gold standard of Marvel Netflix. I mean, they all follow similar palettes, but I think Daredevil just
Daredevil
captured
and-
that idea and ran with it. So that would be number one. Luke Cage, number two. JJ, number three. Then Defenders, then Iron Fist. But I mean, season 2 of Iron Fist was really good. The trailer.
Yeah, that trailer is
Loki,
good.
it looks good.
I think my list is very close to Zion's. I would say even if you want to divide it by season, I would say even Daredevil season 1. I think is still like the top of the list
Same,
of where
same.
Marvel Netflix goes. I like season 2 a lot. Also, I think you could put both back to back. I like Luke Cage season 2. That was really good.
That was
Then
so
I would
good.
say either Jessica Jones season 1 or Luke Cage season 1. Probably toss up.
I would say Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones maybe, then Luke Cage, and then the lower tier I would say would be Iron Fist, Jessica Jones season 2. I thought that wasn't that great, and Defenders is in that area also, and that's not to knock it. Defenders is fine, but just I don't think the chemistry between all the heroes worked as good as people thought it would. So that's one of the issues with that. Next question, I guess.
All right. So the next question is from one of our writers, Haroon Sharif.
Oh, Haroon, yeah,
You can check out his
Shout
site,
out.
Cinema Cure.
yep, he's doing good stuff, and I'm looking forward to his next article. For our listeners, it's gonna be a Kylo Ren piece, so I think you guys will enjoy it.
All right. So he asked, which upcoming CB comic book film are you most hyped for? And the caveat is that you can only choose one film, each of us.
Oh damn,
So-
it's gonna be tough because like
And it was the question just for this year, or it's for any year going forward.
It's open ended, so
Open ended. All right.
you have to.
let's just keep
There's
it
only
within
like 2 left this year.
What's confirmed and not what's like
All
speculation.
right, so no
you know?
speculation films, just the confirmed films are
Yes.
scheduled to release.
Yeah, let's just assume that.
All right, so Omer, you want to start this one?
though. It's
Anyone?
Avengers 4. It's Avengers 4.
Oh, who's the man? Is it?
Boy, you can kill half the universe. I want to see what the
Yeah,
hell's
Bro,
gonna happen.
Loki,
Low
like
key.
Avengers 4 is up there for me too, but honestly, you know me, I'm hyped for Batman. Like, bring it on, let's go. Like,
Yeah,
this is it.
at least that's
I want a
confirmed.
Batman film.
Ben Affleck back?
Yeah,
Yo, man.
we spent a whole podcast on that, I think, right?
True.
So Samir,
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel more than Avengers 4?
Aqua,
Bro, I gotta choose
Venom.
one.
More than
but you
Aquaman.
choose the same-
Avengers
you can
4,
choose the
yeah,
same
it's
one.
up there.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean towards Avengers 4 only because that's kind of the linchpin of the whole 3 phases of Marvel. Like, it's gonna end one incomplete phase of Marvel, and the next one's gonna begin. Other than that, I mean, Wonder Woman 84 could be good.
Maybe Venom, actually.
Shazam could be good, but I think there's a different level of hype because there's so much investment put into
Yeah, I mean, 10
what
years.
Avengers is putting into. But I mean, I'm excited for all of them. You know, I would love as much as like, you know, Zayyan got to root for Batman, but I can't really say that I'm rooting for Man of Steel because they haven't announced anything. But they haven't announced Supergirl. That was pretty interesting. So I guess there's things to look forward to. But I think number 1 would be Avengers 4 for sure.
Boy, they max confused low key.
Yeah.
I know what they're doing.
All right, so for the next question, we'll jump into actually one of our Vero questions that have been submitted from Tio Vucic.
Oh yeah, he's a long-time supporter. Yeah.
Nice. So he said, if you had to choose only one DC movie to be made for the next 100 years, what would it be? Who would direct it, score it, and who would be the cinematographer?
Ooh, that's a nice question.
Yes.
It actually leads into what we're saying. Omer, who wants to start? You want to start it?
Samir, you start.
I can start.
Anyone start.
Well, of course, it'd be. Actually, it's not easy.
Because you have to make a new movie. You got to make a new movie.
Loki, like, if there's only one DC
You're basically making your dream movie.
So I'm waiting for you to break the ice. Let's go.
Loki, I just want a good Batman solo film. Like, I'm actually not.
So who you
that
who you
big
want?
on.
Directed?
I'm not that big on big event films, even though I like them. I just want a grounded, character-driven Batman film.
Nah, bro. I can't agree with that.
Director, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Yeah.
Come back.
Yo, that'd be lit. Okay.
Score. Let's see who would score. Zimmer. I mean, we already got him in Nolan. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think he should do it.
His.
Again.
He
Like,
wouldn't even score.
I-
He wouldn't even score this Batman anyways.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Junkie
You
XL.
wouldn't.
Who did the Klansman score?
Oh, I don't even.
Wasn't
remember.
it Terrence Blanchard?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
him.
it was. I mean, he did an amazing job in Klansman. So honestly, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
killed
mind letting him test his skills with the Batman.
All right, so
And
who?
cinematographer. I mean, who else but Larry Legend?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Larry
Fong.
Pick Larry, legend.
Unmatched.
All right, who wants to go next?
Are we switching directors and cinematographers? Or?
No, you can pick whatever. Make whatever dream was like. It's kind of like
Look,
doubly
no,
gave a
even
blank
if
check.
You missed like a category like cinematographer, Chris.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
gonna answer it up. Yeah. So who wants to go next? You want to go next?
I'll have to disagree with Zayyan's Batman choice because
Yeah,
because of the Christopher Nolan trilogy that already came out. I don't want to see like a one Batman movie for the next 100 years.
How you gonna play me like that?
Again,
So what would your choice be then? You have anything in your mind? It could be Marvel, DC. It doesn't matter. Any character.
I think it was
DC. It was DC actually.
It was
He
DC
said
and
Yeah,
Thor.
DC.
specifically
Yeah.
DC.
All right. So it has to be a DC movie. I guess I'll go. Maybe I'll have to thought of one.
Let's get.
Because you're only getting one for the next 100 years, so you have to go all in for some crazy movie. I'm thinking a Justice League movie directed by Peter Jackson.
Directed by Shaw.
Directed by me. All right, directed by Peter.
Loki.
No, Peter Jackson.
Cinematographer Samir. Score.
No, Peter Jackson as the director. Justice League as the movie. Like an all-out crazy Justice League movie.
Lord of the Rings
Cinematographer, Lord of the Rings style. But I would love to see. Imagine Larry Fong working with Peter Jackson. That's an interesting combination. I would love to see how that plays out. So, well, shout out to Larry. I'll choose him also. Larry with Peter Jackson with the Justice League, and then what do we got? Cinematographer, or we do cinematographer?
Score.
Yeah, we go Hans Zimmer.
Tried and true Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer, he can run with that.
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman. Yeah.
Who did?
Did you say
score
Danny
for
Elfman?
Howard
God.
Shore.
Howard Shore. Let me just make sure.
Yeah, it's Howard Shore.
Yeah, I think it was Howard Shore.
Yeah, Howard Shore.
He's-
I would love to put Howard Shore pairing up with Peter Jackson.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well.
he could handle an epic film.
Yeah,
So-
that'd be good. So, you have a film in mind? Any dream film?
Don't.
Just pick some random film. Like, oh, I want like a freaking Lobo film with Michael Bay. Oh, what's coming out?
Michael Bay.
Lobo's
Nah, I would
coming
say Man of Steel 2.
Man,
Zack
so
Snyder, Zimmer, same guys before, and Larry Fong and cinematographer.
Not bad.
Because he actually, if you want the truth, he actually took what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like Lord of the Rings style, just like
Why don't you jump in and say it? All right, Samir,
Boy.
what do you got?
that was super hot.
Director
Live
of-
action.
Flashpoint. Tarantino.
Tarantino?
Tarantino.
Imagine Tarantino on a superhero movie. That'd be pretty crazy.
No, I heard it.
I don't think he's ever gonna do it though. He's doing Star
He did
Trek.
Kill Bill.
He killed, but that's a comic book style movie. All right, so next question.
I mean, this question is another question from Vero. Is I guess it's kind of tied into kind of this question we just did. This is from Omer, not our Omer, but Omer
no.
Mihanovic,
Okay.
also from Vero.
Shout out.
Shout out. Who are your favorite cinematographers and directors? Which genre do you like most besides comic book movies? Any movie that stands out particular for you, be it for the story, acting, or cinematography in general?
It's a good question. It's a lot. It's a
I
long
mean,
three part.
let's each of us handle one part.
It's a lot, but the movie we watched today could answer that question.
Yeah, a lot of it. So what's the first part of
So
it?
the first part is, who are your favorite cinematographers and directors?
All right. So my favorite cinematographers: Zack Snyder, Christopher
Director.
Nolan,
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, Tarantino. People who know Courage the Cowardly Dog, Tarantella also. Tarantella.
Look, yo,
All right.
Benton Tarantella is looking
Alright,
like search him up.
All right, and then cinematographers, Mokri from Man of Steel did a great job. Larry Fong, obviously. There's a lot of guys, a lot of people. Well, there's two that come out. No
The
one else.
DCEU shillness right now is
Chill.
coming out.
You only know two, don't you?
I don't. I don't know. It's not coming in my head. I just forget
Dude,
the
Kubrick,
don't
all those guys. are great.
Kubrick. Yeah. So Samir, what are some of your favorite directors?
You basically named them all.
Yeah, you named all
I
of
didn't
them.
know. So
Literally,
what's
Nolan.
what's the film part like? Oh yeah, like
Is it Nolan?
favorite film that means out. Oh, it's like a meaningful film, right?
Which genre do you like the most besides CB comic movies?
All right, favorite genre that's not comic books.
Action.
Action,
Yeah, action. Like
Blockbuster.
Mission Impossible is a
Yeah,
good,
Mission Impossible is great.
It's like 2 hours of just you go in, have fun,
Just enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the
I
ride.
thought you say fantasy.
enjoy the roller coaster.
What about you?
Roller coaster.
What about Samir?
I'd have to go with fantasy. If I can.
Yeah,
of course.
I love fantasy as well.
Yeah,
I'm
for me, same.
yeah, I'm
I
a
think
fantasy
it's a tie
guy.
between sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah, sci-fi fan. I like sci-fi also. I like both
Yeah,
actually.
so-
All right, and what's the last part of that question? Memorable film or something?
Oh my god.
Any movie that stands out in particular for you,
Stands out. So many films stand out,
Interstellar.
man.
So good.
Interstellar.
like in any aspect,
Inception.
in story, in Chicago.
Well, we talked about Mission Impossible just came out. That stood out in terms of like pure action set
No, it's
pieces.
like BlacKkKlansman stood out
Like-
crazy.
That stood on every level, man. Emotionally.
Yeah, the political stuff in the movie is really.
Yeah, that really stood out as well. And then, of course, we already spent like a good 10 minutes talking about Lord of the Rings in the beginning, and that
Which
also
is-
stands out. And Harry Potter as well. So, and of course, that's all not counting the superhero films, and they have their own merits as well. So, what's the next
This
question?
is from Retrograve at Retrograve Production. So he asked, why do some creators not accept new takes on characters or properties and act like gatekeepers to it?
Why do new creators?
Why do creators in general
Yeah.
So, I mean,
deny and not accept new versions of their characters?
I'm sure this is
takes.
coming from like a DC perspective, I'm guessing, especially post Justice League. And I would say, I think some people don't give a studio like Warner Brothers enough credit. I know they get things like they're called not director friendly, but I think that's really limited to the superhero stuff. If you don't look at superhero stuff, I mean, they basically spent $300 million to make an indie Blade Runner film, and
So
that
true.
film crashed at the box office, made no money, but they spent like $300 million just to make a very sick movie. So it's not like that, but
I mean, and when things that happen, confidence gets shot.
and I would say again that's very limited to DC again because look at Star Wars. I mean, they took creators like Ryan Johnson took a huge gamble with Luke Skywalker and all these legacy characters,
I made about close to $2 billion.
and I made it $1 billion. But I'm saying so it's not like the question was that why do creators act like gatekeepers? I think that's not like I guess for Justice League that was a situation that happened, but I don't think it's a trend across the board. I mean, there is gatekeeping, but I think that's more within fandoms than it is with creatives. So I guess I guess I personally
It's
don't
more
agree with the
complicated.
question. Yeah, there's multiple layers to it, but I would say why do they do it? I guess there's some
Depends on the person.
yeah,
I
maybe,
think
maybe
It's like a
it's
case by case thing.
yeah, maybe it's a nostalgia thing. Like one of the reasons why we didn't fired Junkie XL and brought Elfman was because he wanted to bring nostalgia
Yeah.
back with Elfman's music. So I guess case by
Remember,
case.
there's only ever been one Batman theme.
There's only one Batman.
Oh no.
I mean, ditto and everything. I think Shiraz, I think we all agree.
Yeah, we all agree on that. I think anyone else anything to add on that?
I think you
I
basically
don't know
covered
about
all
Star
the
Wars thing, the gamble with the directors.
No, you
Like, of course, it made money because it's the whole franchise.
No, but they gambled with the characters a little bit, like to
Yeah,
change
and
things
they
up.
still got a lot of hate.
Yeah, but not from critics. They got it from like fans.
They made her delete Twitter. The girl, the actor.
True. Oh, that's why Star Wars fans are nuts.
Yeah, some of them need to chill on the in all honesty, the question can be also phrased with the fans. Why do the fans act like gatekeepers?
There's a
on
lot
one
of fans
interpretation of one character. Like Luke Skywalker, for example. Why does he have to be like only one way, like one kind of Luke?
Yeah,
That's true. And I think it goes both ways. I mean, I see a lot of people on Twitter saying that, oh, why aren't people accepting Henry Cavill's Superman and only thinking about Christopher Reeve's Superman? But then the same way goes opposite, and they completely deny Christopher Reeve's Superman his legacy and say, no, Henry Cavill's the only one. He's the best one. There can never be another one. You can't accept any other type. So, I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
You have to look at it from, like, a different lens. You got to step back a little bit and see how it really is. I mean, these characters evolve. They change. You just got to accept them for what they are during the times they're in.
That's well said. I guess I agree with that as well. So next question. I think we're running through them pretty good.
I'll start. Okay, so this was from at Zayyan Box. He asked, out of all the new books shown off in November's solicits, which are you most excited for? He gave examples such as Jeff Johnson's Shazam, Green Lantern, Justice League Down to Earth.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll take it from there. I think one of the examples he gave was Jeff Johns coming back to write for Shazam. And I know the questions for all of us. I think I'll just take it solo for this one.
I don't like the cover. That's all I thought.
Yeah,
I don't like the cover.
the cover is more like
It was-
kid friendly,
it was
but here's the reason I'm talking about it. Shazam actually has been on hiatus since Rebirth. So for 2 years, he hasn't been in any comic books.
That's true.
So people have been dying for a Shazam book, and Shazam made good sales. Especially New 52, Shazam was actually running good numbers. And Jeff Johns, I mean, I think we'll agree Jeff Johns works much better as a comic book guy than he does as a film guy. So I think
he's written some.
yeah, he's written Flashpoint.
Great
He's
stories.
written some of the greatest stories. He did
His Green Lantern run was so.
and
good.
his Aquaman one. He made Aquaman cool, for comics. Like
That's true.
that was a big part. Actually, the Aquaman movie is taking a huge page from his run in the comics. So I'm looking forward to Shazam just to see him back in the writing game. I know he's doing Doomsday Clock, but to see him come back full time on a series, that's gonna be pretty fun to see. I'm also enjoying. I mean, Bendis' Superman runs alright. I mean, there's some parts I like, some parts I don't. And then Batman, you got people doing things. Actually,
Yeah, but for me also, I mean, I think the Batman Damned series that looks really good. I'm
oh,
really
that's on
interested
the
in that.
Black Label, right?
Yeah, it's on a new Black Label.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, the Black Label is a side project of DC, a brand new
Unfiltered.
label where uncensored
Uncensored.
and unfiltered comics will come from like some of the best creators.
Azarello, I mean, he's a great writer.
Azarella's
He's
great, yeah.
So I'm
It's a good
really
idea.
excited for that,
Yeah.
honestly.
So we'll move to the next question. We got a lot, right? So we keep going
Alright,
through.
me lucky not a lot, but alright. Another comic one. Alright, so this is from at Miss River Run. So she asked, any other comic universe you guys might be interested in, other than DC and DC or Marvel, and why would you like that universe on the big screen one day?
All right, so I mean, honesty is the best thing here. So I would say that we've actually mostly have grown up with DC and Marvel. So I know there's stuff going on with Image and Valiant and other comics are going strong. But I think one day I want to, of course, more comic book properties coming to life for good. I mean, but personally speaking, I think
I think we both.
Yeah, I don't think
we've all
any
been
of us
comfy
would
with
really-
yeah,
DC or
we've
Marvel,
been
yeah.
comfy with DC and Marvel, the Juggernaut. So we haven't been exposed too much to the other brands, and people more educated than us will definitely can speak on it more. So
Yeah,
that
I don't
aspect,
think,
yeah.
I don't think we should.
so next question.
Disappointing answer.
Disappointing, yeah, but
You should so chill.
it is
Low-key.
low key.
Nah, but low key, if you're honest, DC and Marvel's
No, I've
only
read a couple comics.
like
so-
they're the big,
Then why don't you
big
say which
power,
one you want
the big
to be-
Yeah,
powerhouses.
what's it called?
Okay, so they're not worth it.
Alright,
Then.
so here's a funny one. So this is at not Twitter.
That's Scott.
So he asked, "What's your favorite episode of Young Sheldon?"
Young
What the hell
Sheldon.
is that?
I
So,
have not watched
I think
that.
that's like the Big Bang Theory like spin-off or something.
Spin-off? Oh my
right?
Have
God.
you guys watched? I haven't
Honestly,
watched-
we
I haven't
don't,
watched
yeah, we haven't watched
So
that.
sorry, Scott. We did not watch.
Yeah,
We do not watch
never
Young
will.
Sheldon. We have no plans to watch Young
Or
Sheldon
Big Bang Theory.
or Big Bang
And
Theory.
we never will, yeah.
But all the power to you.
I mean,
He does sarcastically, man. I don't.
yeah, anybody wants wherever they want.
No,
to
man.
watch.
If you like it, you like it, man. But it's not for us, bro.
It's not a company.
Let's be honest here.
All right.
He asked another question, which I think is very interesting to all of us. It's a basketball question.
Nice.
So he asked, "Do you think in LA LeBron should play the ISO ball handler role he played under Lou, or the wing post scorer with great passing like he was in the Spoelstra?"
Omer, why don't you take it?
Isolation scorer because he can't. I don't see them. I don't think they have enough shooting on the floor, so I don't think he'd be able to go in the post and.
I think I would do the exact opposite. I mean, have Lonzo handle the ball, get LeBron on the wing, stay in the post, and play in there. I mean, that's the best way LeBron will use energy. He wants to
LeBron
handle the
hates-
ball constantly.
LeBron hates going in the post though because it takes a lot out of the guy. Because when he goes in the
That's true.
post, so much
That's true,
bumping
but-
going on.
Yeah, but
I mean,
also,
I think he knows he has a lot of
but
young
I
pieces,
think-
right?
But
I
if he wants to conserve energy, he can. I mean, I could see him there, but it depends. I think
I feel like it drained him too much in Cleveland to handle the ball so much. Like even when Kyrie was
No, yeah.
there, he
but
like
you saw especially after Kyrie left, though. That's this last year. You saw the way LeBron's was like being used. Is like usage rate on the court was at an all time high. Like the ball was in his hands more last year than it was in any time of his career. Like that's a crazy
and at
stat.
his age is pretty.
And the fact that he's
scary
doing
what
it,
he did
it's
with
scary
it,
that he's
yeah.
doing it, but it's also taking miles off his career. Like, who knows if last year actually shaved like a couple of years out of his career alone. Like,
That's
just
true.
so.
That's true.
So I mean, to answer that question, I would say, I mean, I would like to see him back in his Miami role, like Scott said, like back to being a more passer. That's if he wants to grow the team out. I think for next year, he can. I mean, if he wants to go for an MVP and just run for it, I mean, he can do that. But I think he should. I think you take next year as an off year. Like they have no chance of
Honestly,
winning.
yeah, that's
You're
true.
waiting on Kawhi anyways for next free agency. I say just let the young players develop, and LeBron can just be like a passer. You go average
do
triple
your thing,
double.
get an MVP.
This guy
do your
this
thing.
guy literally could average
Won't-
triple double.
They
Like
won't get an MVP if they don't get 4.
yeah, he won't get MVP unless they have at least like 50 wins. But I don't think they're
I
gonna
mean,
get.
even last year,
He's not getting 50 wins in the West, and yeah, I don't trust no Lonzo
Low-key,
Oh,
Ball or these clowns right
NBA is freaking dead, bro.
now.
2K
2K is so
dead.
dead.
2K. All right,
Never
we'll take an offshoot topic to just let everyone know that Samir and Zayyan think 2K is dead.
2K is so dead, bro.
Dude, Loki, 2K is dead, and do not. I'm telling you,
You do
advice,
not waste your money on this.
Don't waste your money on 2K19.
What if summer followers don't know what 2K19 is?
It's to the followers who know 2K is. It's an illusion. All right,
They're throwing out
It's
the
a
same
deception.
game every
they're
year.
literally throwing out the
Deception.
same game with the new skin.
Yo, break
Alright.
the mold.
If you have 2K17, like you don't need any of the games after
Yeah.
that because they haven't
Just-
changed anything.
Just
Alright.
buy the 2K19 cover. It's pretty lit.
All right, these
Look,
guys.
same thing.
Put
Alright.
2K18 in and you got 2K19.
All right, these guys
You want to buy
obviously.
a game? Buy Spider-Man. Buy
Alright.
Red Dead Redemption.
These guys are
You
acting
know,
like
a quality game.
these guys are acting
God
like
of War.
2K. These guys are acting like 2K. Like I don't know, beat them up or
2K
something.
is the worst.
It's just they're doing their thing, but you
Too
know.
much money's been wasted.
Yeah, 2K.
Microtransactions are like at an all-time high in that game.
All right, I think we've given our negative review of 2K enough. Now we're never gonna get a review copy. All right,
2K is so dead, bro.
all right, so next question.
It's more dead. It's more
Hi,
dead.
this is Richard at Richard_Woody, and he says that essentially half his question is that he wants a game like TMNT to have an Arkham or Spider-Man style video game with cinematic graphics and open world great story.
No.
You think that would work?
No.
I mean,
For what?
we watched TMNT a
It's
little
so
bit back
hard
in
to
the
make
day.
that.
No, but
Oh,
what he's
What do you-
what he's busy pitching is having 4 characters, all the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
In an Arkham Combat, that's not hard to pull off. You can pull off Arkham Combat with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but putting an open world setting,
Nah, it's hard.
Loki will be lit though. Like if they pulled it off,
I
it'll
look
be
it
lit.
would.
But I mean, I would like
Would
to see
it work? That's the
Yeah, if
question.
he's asking, would you like to see it? Yes.
Say that for Kamal.
If he thinks that would work, I think it's very, very ambitious. But you never know; anything's possible. You need the right studio to make it.
That's true. There used to be rumors that Rocksteady was making.
Yeah, there were rumors about
That
Rocksteady
fell
either
through,
going for
supposedly.
Superman or Ninja Turtles. I think I read.
Hopefully
Superman.
Superman. Honestly.
I guess.
Remember all those rumors?
Yeah, that all died out. But
All
people,
the hype was
there was
crazy.
so much hype around
Remember
freaking
so on the
E3.
fake pictures.
Boy, I tweeted that fake.
Dude, we
I tweeted
all-
a Man of Steel flying thing.
Yeah,
We all
Superman
wanted to
should fly
believe
like that.
so bad.
we were 100%
We
in
all
it.
wanted it so bad.
But maybe now like supply and demand, like because people clamored so hard over the fake picture, Rockstar will be like, "What the hell? People actually want this," and there's so much money on the table. Just make the game. you know?
I mean,
But yeah,
It's fake.
again, we're off track again.
Simon, what do you think about TMNT?
You
Samir.
basically just use it's not a good thing. It's not a good.
Samir, do you want to see?
The
You want a drink? Samir, what do you think about TMNT?
I doubt they'll make a game. I mean, the movies are pretty whack. I mean, no offense to anyone.
Dude, were those animated shows of the old?
The old
They
ones,
were
Yeah,
so
better,
they were
good.
good. They were pretty
What
good.
was that old? Those really old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where they come on like talk shows and shit.
Oh
They-
nah.
No,
They start
there was
singing?
there was a Ninja Turtles where they met the Power Rangers. like Power
Yo, Power Rangers. Okay.
Bruh.
Power
No,
Rangers.
wait.
Okay, I'm not saying
Dude,
this. I'm
wait,
saying
wait.
this. Power Rangers is better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay,
Wait,
Power
the
Rangers is
movie?
actually lit.
The movie? The movie?
No,
or-
no.
Power Rangers is a
In
franchise.
general,
No.
As a general. Okay.
in
Loki,
general,
let me say right
Power
now,
Rangers is better than Teenage
Power Rangers is Loki lit.
No, but
Loki.
Power Rangers in space though. that's
Power
fair.
Rangers Space is the GOAT.
No,
Fans listening,
no
you
one
love
knows-
Power Rangers.
Dude, Space
You know
Gundam?
it. I mean,
Yo, Power Rangers in space is so lit.
dude,
Low-key.
they killed Zordon in Power Rangers in Space.
I,
right?
it was
Power Rangers is so good.
To the fans watching,
Is this
you
the-
know what I'm talking about.
It's the old.
Everyone
yeah,
knows
it's
it.
cartoons. Yeah, not cartoons. The
No,
old
it's a
anime.
live action.
Yeah, but the
It's the
freaking
live action one, right?
yeah, but the live action
No, it's the
movie,
shows.
the movie's part of the continuity of the show.
Omer's
Like,
so not
Okay,
in the
is
know.
the movie about some fire alarm?
I don't
What are you
remember.
talking
Where
I
one
don't,
of the Red Rangers is like a firefighter or something?
What are you talking about?
you mean the
like
new
an
movie?
old-
You mean the new movie just
Dude,
came
not
out?
gonna lie,
No,
we
that
didn't watch
one.
the movie.
That one. That one has its own
You
problems.
supposed to see.
Yeah, but that movie.
That
takes
one
place
could have
in
been
the
good,
show.
low-key.
Yeah, it could have been
What
good.
kills-
Yeah.
I don't know.
What? All right, but Power Rangers lit. Yes,
Dude, Tommy's coming back.
but I like.
The Green Ranger?
Yo,
The
it's,
Green Ranger.
yo, it's 3M. We're talking
Didn't
about
you see the
Power
end credit
Rangers.
scene with the green jacket and they call his
Dude,
name?
I did not watch that movie.
You haven't watched Power
you
Rangers?
love
Yeah,
this
I wanna-
spoiled.
which one? Which one?
If they got the villain right, that movie
Yeah.
wouldn't. That movie
The
would have
villain
been
was
good. But the
not
villain
good.
was stupid.
Yeah, but that
No,
villain is the
and
same
they got-
one
they
from
got
the
a
Mighty
good
Morphin.
actor
It's a kid
for it.
movie. No, the actor was.
No, but actor, but it's the same character, like Rita.
No, the
Repulsa.
cutting it was like Suicide Squad basically.
let's not go that far, right? Suicide Squad.
No, we're talking about DCU.
Yeah, he said how to get from Power Rangers to DC.
No, I'm just I was saying how did he get from Power Rangers when the question was about a video game of the Ninja Turtles?
Because Samira started comparing.
Yo,
Like,
this
oh
guy-
yeah,
this guy
Power
seems
Rangers.
Because people keep disagreeing with me.
Oh,
It's
nah.
It's the thing. Power Rangers are so much better than Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Okay, they're both good, man.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
They
Teenage
both
Mutant
the
Ninja are
same
bad.
concept, man. They're both like
I'm not
games
saying
with
they're
like
bad.
colors.
It's called what it is. TMNT sucks.
I'm not saying they're bad.
What are they say?
I'm
Aren't they
saying-
from Saban?
I'm saying
Yeah, aren't they both saving Power
No,
Rangers?
they're not. They're not. Ninja Turtles are. Ninja Turtles are.
okay. Power Rangers over Teenage Mutant.
Alright, but Loki,
I bet.
Kamen Riders aren't bad either.
Dude, Kamen Rider is looking.
Kamen Rider is good too.
I have no idea what you just said.
It's like Japanese version of Power Rangers.
But Kamen Rider
It's
Dragon
lit.
Knight is whack.
You're saying
You
it
gotta
so
go the
fast.
OG one.
I
Kamen Rider, K-A-E
never,
K-M-E-N.
You spell it.
Rider.
never heard of it.
All right, whatever, man. You guys are not in the know. All right.
I bet.
You
What's
gotta-
the
you
next
gotta
question?
expand your
What's the
horizons.
next question?
Alright, so that was a fun question.
We gotta talk about the Godzilla verse.
Oh nah.
The Kaiju verse?
One,
Yeah, whatever.
yo, what? How come when they meant when the question about what do you other interests we mentioned the kaiju verse?
Oh,
The
man. Okay, so
Godzilla-
this is the last submitted question. And this is a kind of funny one. So this is from at Film Blob Review. And they, I know Shraz will love this question. If you listen to podcast number 6,
It was 7, probably.
7, you know we kind of addressed this. He asked, "Who is your favorite Judas?"
Judas, like Judas.
And I was like the favorite term these days.
yeah, they're
number
using
one-
biblical terms to talk about freaking.
Pretty superhero flicks?
Yeah, let's go.
Mark Wade, Mark Miller, 2 marks, or Judas Jones.
Judas Johns.
Judas Johns.
Yeah,
Or-
who wants
no,
this?
you get 4th option. Or all 3 of the above salty comic buffoons who diss Snyder's work, yet their own work is exactly what Snyder used for Man of Steel and BVS.
So the last part actually is a pretty good point, but the other stuff,
Loki, it is.
yeah, Loki, because what was the Mark Wade, right?
Mark Wade, Mark Miller.
Wade wrote. Mark Wade wrote actually my favorite Superman comic ever, which is called Superman Birthright.
Yeah.
So, and actually Snyder used Birthright for Man of Steel heavily, and for some reason, and I think the reason actually inside is that they actually were talking to Mark Wade about writing a Superman movie before Man of Steel came out, and they ended up choosing Nolan and Goyer's script over his.
Ooh.
And when Man of Steel came out, he kind of threw a hissy fit and started crying. Not crying, but started screaming that, oh, Man of Steel is like the worst thing ever came out. He was part of like that anger that came out after Man of Steel, even though he wrote Birthright, which is a pretty dark comic book. Again, I don't think any of them are Judas Johns. That all those phrases kind of like are a little over
Taking
my
it pretty
head.
lightly.
Yeah. So and what was the other guy? It was Mark Miller.
Mark Miller.
Mark Millar, he did Superman Red Sun. So there you go. Like, there's people who did really good comics, and then Jeff Johns, we already talked about him. He's done like a trillion great comic books. Like Jeff Johns' legacy with DC is actually much bigger than I think some fans
the positives
give
outweigh the
credit for.
negatives.
Yeah, I mean, if his only negative is Justice League, he has like 50 million positives they did in the comic book world. So, anyone else want to address this question?
No, I mean,
I think you handled it pretty
yeah,
well.
it's already done. You can.
I mean, if you want to hear more about our
yeah, the
thoughts
last
on
podcast.
this?
Yeah.
The last podcast.
Check
The last
Podcast
podcast, we
7.
pretty much went 1 hour only on that topic and the more topics surrounding
and the general topics.
general topics. So hit that up. That's our questions, right?
I think that is all of it.
So
I mean,
that was all the questions we got submitted. We appreciate everybody both on Vero and Twitter.
Shout out to everyone.
Yeah,
Yep,
shout out to
thank you
everyone.
for the
Great
questions.
fans. Great questions. And I think we can now kind of segue and talk about some big films we've seen this year, not superhero related. And I think today, like I mentioned before, Zayyan and I, we drove up to Canada, so we're chilling with Omer and Samir right now, live. And so today we went to watch BlacKkKlansman, right? And we all saw it. This is our second time seeing it. And first time addressing it in a podcast, so I think we just talk about what we thought about the film and the direction of the film and some of our favorite scenes. We can all jump in whenever you want.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
Yes. Spoilers for
Alright,
this.
so yeah, heavy spoilers. We're gonna spoil this film right now. If you haven't seen BlacKkKlansman, I know it's like more of an indie film, so go see it. Or if you don't wanna If you want to kind of skip ahead, we're going to probably talk about it for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. So if you want to forward in 10, 15 minutes in, it's up to you. But we're going to be going spoilers on this film. Who wants to give their thoughts first?
I think I'll just jump in.
Zayyan, you can jump in?
Yeah, I mean the film was, as you can see, I said on Twitter and Vero. I mean, it was such a profound film, really good, really resonating. I mean, the message was very, very real under its satirical, outlook on a satirical style that Spike Lee is known for. I mean, the cinematography was really, really good. I mean, I think the budget actually was pretty low for this film, and what they accomplished with it was really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree right there. I mean, I'm the one who reviewed BlacKkKlansman for Comic Book Debate, and if you guys read my review, I gave it 5 stars. I do think at this point it's my favorite film of the year. I think
I would agree.
it's just did so much great stuff with a true story, and the true story is like nothing to scoff at. I think the story of Ron Stallworth is very interesting, and you can read his memoirs for a very direct look into his life and how he accomplished things he accomplished in his time with the Colorado Police Department. So, but the movie itself, Spike Lee, I mean, Spike Lee is Spike Lee, so he has a way he does things, and he has.
As a New Yorker, Spike Lee's like,
yeah, we're New Yorkers, we know Spike Lee is every
Legend.
Knicks game, right? But Spike Lee has a style where he does not pull his punches, and he's very direct with this thing. Like, like some directors that hide their hidden meanings under like certain layers. Spike is very harsh with it. He just throws it out there in your face. So if he wants you to hear something, or he will make you very uncomfortable with like certain phrases or certain things characters will say, and then he balances it with comedy and humor. So, for example, like there's a scene where Flip, his partner, who's posing as Ron Stallworth, goes to Felix's house, and Felix is this like radical KKK lunatic, right? And he takes him into his like little den and trying to find out if he's Jewish or not, right? And there's obviously like a harshness to it because they're using very obviously
The language is very intense.
yeah, they're using horrible words and using slurs, and it's made to make you feel uncomfortable. So people in the theater, I mean, when we watched it back in New York, there was literally uncomfortable people getting up in our theater and walking out at certain points and then coming back, right? So it was like a different kind of feeling. And then, of course, what Spike does is that he'll balance that with like a lot of humor. So he'll like hit you with something harsh, and he balances with humor. And when the film wants to get deep, like towards the end when they told like the story of the guy who got like fake, like a fake trial, person who was like mentally not well. They blamed him on something he didn't do, and then they made like a public holiday of his torture, right? So that's like very dark, and then they balance it quickly with a very like Topher Grace's David Duke, like making a funny gesture. So these kind of things is what he's good at, and I think it was just brilliantly done. I think just very impressed with it.
I think the best part of the movie for me was the score, of course. Can we say it again?
Yeah, just keep on.
And what else was it?
But what are some of your
Favorite
favorite
Favorite scene was the firing range scene. Not when they're actually firing, but when Ron Stallworth sees the aftermath, like sees what the KKK was shooting. We're shooting at little statues. What are they called?
Yeah, little like what do you call
They
it?
look like they had afros too.
Yeah, it's like supposed to be little like
Little
little
African-
African American
supposed to be
children.
yeah, like a
Children.
very
Like 5 little kids running
Scary
with very
racial-
Spike Lee being very direct there.
yeah. So he's being straight like
Bullet shots to the head in the eyes.
yeah, like they show like
Even the aim was.
yeah, like
Yeah.
there's everything he does is
That
purpose.
scene combined with the score was
Oh, that was crazy.
that
Yeah,
was
and-
score was like impeccable.
I was shook.
yeah. No, that was, then I love like I love how like he does like trademark ending sequence where like they'll open the door and something, and then sort of like the camera just moving. It looks like they're floating to the door. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, that
it's
was
like
yeah.
it takes you. It kind of changes kind of like the phase of the
They see
movie.
They see the burning cross.
Yeah, some of the scenes that it's the way he shot them were so good, especially the when Kwame Ture is that
Yeah.
when he's doing his speech and they're showing like people listening to him.
Yeah. They're showing like
The way he shot that was a
Yeah.
little different, like you could tell, and
Yeah.
he does it multiple times.
yeah, it's like a fourth wall break. I mean that speech is just as much for the audience as it was for the audience in the movie. So it's like there's like a double meaning, like where Kwame Ture's speech, and I mean, obviously, if you guys know, this is based on a real story, so Kwame Ture is a real person. He did a lot of these same speeches, and the police department actually did investigate him, thinking that he was like radicalizing African Americans. And the crazy thing is that this story takes place in the 1970s. That wasn't that long ago. That was like when our parents were growing up and stuff like that. So it's not like some people think that, oh, this racism stuff is like, oh, it's in the past, it doesn't matter anymore. And I think to address that, things I need to talk about like how the ending sequence of how they spliced in that real world footage, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very powerful stuff, and it was almost hard to take in. It's hard to believe that this is actually still happening, and it's very real, and it's, and only we can work together to try to fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much more you can say about it.
Yeah, I mean that's how people think
Very
that.
intense.
I think like the movie ends on kind of like right before the end go the montage. It ends on like Ron Stallworth and all his buddies like kind of pissing off David Duke, and
It ends on a kind of
like as a happy note, and then you get to look at David Duke like standing there thinking, oh look, the heroes won, and then you think about it, well, did the heroes win? Because the second after that, oh, they had their little win. Right outside of Ron Stallworth's house, there's the cross burning. And then you cut into, like, the score gets extremely somber at that point. I think you have to give, we talked about it.
It went dead silent too when they showed the flag upside down.
Yeah. So and then they showed, like, and they showed, like, the untapped footage. You know, people, cars being running over people. And this just happened in Charlottesville.
Trump defending them.
Yeah, this is Trump said that,
very fine people on both sides.
Very fine people on both sides. I mean, I know this is kind of like a self promotion, but when I was writing Ultimate Immigrant Story, it was actually the day after Charlottesville happened. So, and in my article, like if you read the first two paragraphs, I'm actually talking about that exact event, what was happening in Charlottesville with the KKK resurging and feeling empowered because of our administration. So it's a very moving thing, especially like even if you're not American, like me and Zayyan are American, and we're seeing it kind of like in a patriotic sense. This is our country. And we feel a different kind of connection to it, but even from the outside looking in, from Omer and Samir's perspective, you're gonna see like I think they said it, like "Make America Great Again" and "America First" and all these like again, Spike Lee's not pulling punches. Like these are the phrases that people used back then. They're using them now, and now the president's using them. So it has its own meaning. You know what I'm saying?
I think one of the biggest themes in the film was that racism will always exist, and he basically, after all the work they've done, you see a cross burning.
But I'm just gonna jump off. I'm gonna just. I'm just gonna jump off Umar's point right there, and then that black films. It's 3M, folks. Deal with it. All right, so BlacKkKlansman. It's just a brilliantly made film. I think we can talk about how films are crafted. Like we have to take emotion, like we're emotionally attached to it because we live in this political world where things are crazy and we're living in, we're breathing in, we're experiencing it because we're minorities as well. But if you just look at the film itself on a craft level, I think we bring back Samir's point where he said the score. I mean, the score is amazing. And for those who did not see the film, I know it's an indie film. It's not going to make that much money in the box office. So I'm going to assume a lot of our listeners, especially the international audiences, they might not feel inclined to see the movie because it's so focused on like one aspect of American politics. But I would recommend seeing it. But in terms of the score, I'm actually going to use our intro and outro as parts of the BlacKkKlansman score.
I love the parallel in the scene where they're talking about the tragedy of Jesse Washington, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they cut to the KKK initiating new members. And then at the end of the whole initiation and at the end of the story, like the black
activists, yeah.
The black activists started chanting, Black Power. And then it cut to the white extremists.
Supremacist, extremist, terrorists, what are you going to call them?
Chanting, White Power. And we really see that, like,
and actually, he did it. Spike Lee directed in a way that they both keep saying it so fast after each other that you can't even hear like then who's saying what's, like, oh yeah. So then it's like one of those very powerful scenes, and I want to agree like that sequence was extremely powerful and
shows the divide, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think the scene right after where they show the entire KKK watching Birth of a Nation, right? And he was saying that how they showed that film in the White House, and he said, "Oh, what was the quote? It was." history written by lightning, as if like that is the truth. You know, like
Yeah.
they show African Americans as these like savage beasts, and all like the white women running around, and then the freaking like they show the Klansmen who are like this is what they're inspired by as these like heroes. You know, we know this is like a superhero podcast about superheroes. Like they actually showed in real life a person who lynches and burns and kills and tortures black people as the hero, and everyone's cheering and throwing their popcorn.
Very
It's like
uncomfortable scene,
it's an
actually.
uncomfortable scene. It's like it's supposed to make you feel like what
Yeah.
the
They
hell.
actually showed the real movie.
Yeah, that's the real, and that's the real movie. I mean, so that's the, like, that's supposed to be chills. The same thing with the story of
Jesse Washington.
Jesse Washington. I mean, those pictures were real. Like the pictures they were holding up of his like charred body. That's the real. And that's happened in our history, and that's something people can't ignore. I know, like a lot of people and things want to ignore racism because stop making everything so about politics and stuff like that. But like this stuff happened, and
Yeah,
sometimes you got sometimes you
call
got
what it is.
yeah, sometimes you got to take a minute to recognize it. And that's a film like this film
Eventually,
would
you
do.
have to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
I think-
exactly.
so
Yeah.
true.
I think even as a like from a Canadian perspective, like a lot of you could see a lot of parallels to Aboriginals here, what they went through here. And I found that really fascinating that you see so many similarities, even though we're not American. You see that racism is something that it's not inherently American, but it's like
That's
all
true.
over the
It's
world.
prevalent everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, like,
unfortunate, honestly.
And when you got to think about when the KKK and David Duke, the clown, when
Bum.
he said
The grand loser.
the wizard
grand
when
The
the
wizard.
Grand loser.
when the wizard says things like
The grand asshole.
David Puke.
when
Didn't puke.
when David Puke says make America great again or America first, like what is great again for them? Think about it. What is their great again?
Yeah, things should have been great.
What's their
It's
great?
been
Was
great for
there
them forever.
was there great when there were slaves and black people were
I
slaves?
don't
Like
think
what?
they said make America greater.
They didn't. That's more
They
like
said
a
make it greater.
yeah, but
Yeah, but you know what he's trying to say.
yeah,
like,
and,
is
and
Donald
Spike
Trump
Lee's director.
parallel? That's
Yeah,
what
he's
it
trying
is.
to make a Trump parallel.
Which is why he showed him at the end.
Like
And then they
what?
showed the
Like
real
even when Trump says it, when
David
Trump
Duke.
says "Make America Great Again," what is great again for them? You gotta think about it. What is their great again? And what? Go 30 years back? Go 40 years back?
Yeah.
Segregation
What's the big thing that changed?
was segregation what they wanted? Was slavery their great again? What the hell are they talking about great again? What was so great when things were white? Like that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People, there's such a racial undertone to what
And they
these
addressed
words
that
mean.
with a joke in the movie, like why would the American people elect someone like David Duke?
Yeah,
The office, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
and
actually
then-
happened, which is insane. Just
yeah.
think about
So
that.
and
I mean, Spike likes to be on the nose on this kind
and
of
that was a full on the nose moment, and they let you have those moments where it's like wake up, you gotta wake up, like this stuff's happening. So I think they do a great job showing it and just giving you like the whole picture of what BlacKkKlansman is, and that's why it's a great movie. And even on top of that, he gives it to you in a way where it's like taking medicine. It's like sometimes it's gonna hurt for a second, and you feel very uncomfortable, but then you wash it down with like I don't know juice or something, right? So he makes it a comedy movie, So it's like there's a lot of moments where like the friendship, the bond between Flip and Ron, because they're both kind of playing the same character, but you can see their bond is growing, like, especially because actually it's interesting. The beginning of the movie, Ron Stallworth wasn't completely embracing kind of like the Black Power movement and stuff like that until he saw Kwame's speech, Kwame Ture, and he got very like into
That's
it
the
when he saw
fascinating
that.
thing about this movie. He gives you so many perspectives
Yeah.
within even one.
Yeah, and then
like, group.
you had the perspective of a Jewish American who has no like relationship to his culture because he grew up in a time where he's just white. Like he never think about what his religion is or what his culture
He
is.
didn't think about it until he got assaulted.
Yeah, until
You know
people
what I mean?
start calling him like
questioning about.
questioning him, and he's like, "What the hell?" Like I'm gonna question it, and then you see like that bond growing. In the end, like him and Ron are having their own handshakes, and you can tell like they're really good friends and actual real comrades, right? And that's
Even then,
I mean, that's just great levity for the film.
and even then, Ron is like throughout the movie, Ron's trying to break the divide between the white and black. Like he's defending the cops, even though he knows that
Because he knows there's some good in
Yeah.
them.
even though
that's
he
true.
knows that Pamela was assaulted by one
Yeah, I mean,
right before
Patricia.
Patricia.
Because Pamela
There's a
was a sister,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pamela's sister.
like the
yeah.
fake sister.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, also the actors really got the Adam Driver killing
Adam
him.
Driver
Yeah,
was
I don't know.
really good.
Yeah, I actually thought he was. He might have been one of the
Even,
best actors. David
John
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, John.
He did a really
huge
great
John
job.
Yeah,
Washington.
he was. I hopefully he gets more roles going forward and gets more like big
I'm
time.
pretty sure this was an upcoming role.
Yeah, this is a
This is like
a
his
breakout.
breakout role, I think.
Yeah.
So Adam Driver did a great job. I think Laura Harrier did a great job also as Patrice.
Yeah, I mean his dad is Denzel Washington, so I mean
Yeah, so
He's
he's
got the
Denzel's
acting
son. Yeah, so yeah,
Denzel, huh?
yeah.
that's big. And then you had obviously Topher Grace. You know, for us superhero nerds, we know he played Venom in Spider-Man 3,
Oh,
Yeah.
and now he's playing David Duke. You know?
Yeah, he's
Nah.
pretty good though, Loki. As
And then you had
He did a good job.
yeah, he did. And then you
He
had
did a good job.
Alec Baldwin came in the beginning.
That was
That
hilarious.
was funny. Yeah.
So, I don't even know what that was.
Even
It was so
the
random.
Felix
Dude,
guy,
her name-
whoever
her
he
name was
is, he was
Patricia.
good.
Yeah, Jasper Pecone.
Yeah, he did a good job of.
Yeah,
really-
he sells it. A lot of the.
Correction, her name wasn't Patricia, it's Patrice.
Yeah, I just said Patrice. Yeah, her
Yeah,
name's
I'm
Patrice.
not
So,
Damn.
but Umar was saying like they actually sold like those when they were casting the KKK. They sold it like
like
they make
Felix's
you hate them.
characters, like
yeah, honestly, yeah, you
Yo,
hate this guy.
they make you hate them. Like you're like, yo, these guys. And so when eventually, again, spoiler alert,
so
when
the
they die,
actresses stay safe.
yeah,
honestly.
you know if the actors can make you hate a character, then they're doing their job. They're
Yeah,
acting
there's a
well.
few key characters. I mean, you really hate by the end.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't mention them, but
The whole
you know
Felix,
who they are.
the whole Felix family, Felix whole family, let's say.
so
Oh
true.
my god, the wife.
Oh my, the wife's
Yo,
mad
God,
annoying.
when
Dude.
he tackled the wife when she's planting the bomb and he got arrested.
Oh yo,
He's undercover.
and then that makes you feel like because that happens now, like in a like the kind of crazy is happening right now where a cop will, if a cop sees a black person and a white person, they're gonna like just
assume
history
the
saying
black
they're gonna
person,
assume the white person's in danger, the black person is
Thing
like
is, I thought that he was gonna shoot Ron at that scene.
yeah, that would be
Yeah, there was a small.
because you give that
thing
tension where he's like
Yeah, very high tension.
yeah,
the
and,
way
then,
it was shot, I guess.
and you know that's how it's in real life. People like kids are getting
Yeah,
shot
because-
and
Because all the political.
even if they don't have
Because of
guns.
What's happening nowadays?
Yeah.
that would make me think.
That's why that proves the
That's
brilliance of Spike Lee's
Huh?
directing, right? So
That's why I feel like it's the greatest movie this year. Maybe.
yeah, so far I think it's the best movie of the year. I gave it 5 stars.
Same.
Yeah, it's 5 stars.
I
all
think
around.
unanimous. We all give
Yeah,
it
we all gave it 5
5
stars. It's a
yeah.
great movie. It's a great movie and had a great
It's
message.
good to watch even if you're not American. It's one of those movies that is good for you. It's like a history lesson.
Yeah, even the
It's a
theater,
good wake-up
our
call.
theater here in Ottawa.
Yeah, it's a good
cool.
movie to understand the different ideologies that are
yeah.
passed. And
It's a good wake up call also for all people, whether you're white, black. We're neither. We're also minorities, but every perspective is different. Everyone absorbs what you're seeing differently. So I think it was a great movie. And I think to wrap up the podcast, we can talk about kind of like
We're gonna go year
our favorite films ever, like top 5
ever or
ever. I say
you want to
yes.
go year and then ever.
No, this year.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Let's
wanna
go
go
this
year
year
first?
and then
This year,
ever.
top 3.
All right, let's go top 3 of 2018 so far. Who wants to start first?
I guess I'll start first. I think BlacKkKlansman, I mean, we just said it. So far as the best film of the year. I mean, I think seeing what films are going to come out this year, I think it's going to stay number 1. Number 2, I actually have Infinity War. I mean, that film was just such a great film. Really good. I mean, it broke away from the classic Marvel formula, but while keeping it familiar. And then 3 would be Fallout, Mission Impossible, I guess.
You go. We'll go.
Well, I'd have to disagree with the Infinity War part. I mean, I agree with BlacKkKlansman. Obviously, that's my first choice. I just said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd have to put Mission Impossible above Infinity War.
Nice. Alex, you also you want me to go next?
Yes.
So I would say I actually have the exact same list as Samir on this one. I think BlacKkKlansman is my number 1 film. I think we discussed the last 15-20 minutes why, so I won't get into it more. Then I have Mission Impossible second. I mean, this is just a pure filmmaking thing. I think Christopher McQuarrie, yeah, he did such a great job with the characters and with the set pieces. I mean, I think using so little CGI and kind of doing everything kind of like on hand is the best part. And then third, I would put Infinity War as well. I think just again 10 years in the making. It's like one of the biggest crossover events, and it paid off. I mean, your expectations lived up to it. At least ours
I
did.
have Infinity War number 1. Although like I understand the kind of the political side of BlacKkKlansman, but I think Infinity War, I don't know, like it's
On a pure enjoyment level.
on a pure enjoyment level. Infinity War, I find myself like I keep going back and watching those scenes.
Yeah.
And plus like the pop that you get in the theater, some
Yeah.
entrances that happen. Thor on Wakanda,
Yeah.
Captain America showing up.
What's your number
There's
2?
There's a lot of great things.
Yeah, like you could
just
go
pick
on.
them
You
out.
could just literally go on and on about Infinity War.
Yeah.
Then
What's your-
BlacKkKlansman
Nice.
for all the reasons that you guys said, and then Mission Impossible, obviously.
Nice. So all four of us have the exact same top three, just in different order.
Yeah, I was
Like,
surprised.
Yeah.
I think all of them are pretty
Yeah,
good.
it was right.
Too real right now.
Yeah, the chemistry's real. I think we all have the same films. I mean, there's other films that are good too, but there's some that are not.
Panther.
I think at this point,
Yeah, Black Panther was a close.
Black
And
Panther, yes.
and if the listeners want through, it's 3:30. So it's not full effort right now.
Yeah, so more films will come out throughout the year, right? So,
I mean, at the end of the year, we'll
Still
have
got
our
Venom
year
and
round.
Aqua. We still got Venom. Aqua.
yeah, Venom, Aqua. I mean, I'm not
I don't think it's gonna change our
top.
list,
I think top three is pretty solid.
but
my
I
top.
don't know.
Aqua
I mean,
could sneak in.
We'll have our full
Aqua,
list by the
Aqua
end of
might
the year.
sneak in depending on what
Yeah,
James
Aqua
wants.
could sneak in.
I doubt it.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, if it does, it'll be third, but I don't think so.
For it to sneak in, it has to be insane.
I'm forecasting it at fifth, like after BP.
Yeah, or actually, I'm keeping the door open if someone can take BP's spot, Black Panther's
I
spot.
really
Nah, I
want
don't know
Venom
about
as the one, like,
But I want
Oh,
Aquaman to
Oh,
surprise
we're all
me.
rooting
I wanna
opposite.
see-
Actually, if in all honesty, I think Black Panther it's better than Mission Impossible. I would go to.
So you change your list.
Yeah, so I got 2K.
the 3:30
Whatever,
a.m.
you know what I'm
change.
saying?
All
So
right,
Infinity War, BlacKkKlansman, Black Panther, and
all right,
yo,
all right.
dumbass up.
All right. So, do you want to do all time, or do you want to
Nah,
say that
forget
for
all
another
Our
day?
all time is the same as
Lord
Lord
of
of the
the
Rings,
Forget all time.
Man of Steel,
I live
Lord
in
of the
Superman.
Rings, Dark Knight Rises.
Inception.
All right.
Interstellar.
All makes sense. All right. So, finally, so now I guess to wrap it up, we'll all say our number one favorite film,
Rings.
Lord of the Rings. All
All right,
right.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. All right. So I guess
Yeah, it was
Good
right.
talk.
that was a pretty that was a fast talk.
No.
But yeah,
That was the debate part of common debate.
that was the debate part of Counter Debate. That we're just
We don't really debate. We disagree on everything.
we disagree.
Yeah.
Well, we disagree on some things too, but yeah, I guess the chemistry's on a level where we're kind of like agreeing on things most of the time.
Let's go into the other films. Lord of the Rings, okay, number one for everyone, but then after that,
All right,
What do you guys
after
have?
Lord of the Rings, I mean, I think of Lord of the Rings as one big film. Like it's one 12-hour
That's
epic.
true. I mean, if you don't, then it's the top three.
If you don't, then I have freaking Return of the King.
I think, yeah.
Return of the King, Fellowship, pretty
Fellowship,
changeable.
Same. It's like 3-1-2. That's the order.
And then
Sometimes it's 1-3-2.
and
Yeah,
then
you really can't tell.
Lucky 3-1, like you switch back and forth. Honestly.
and then some other films I like are like
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel,
oh, what a surprise!
What a shock.
and I love BVS,
Django, of course.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Godfather.
Godfather,
films. So good.
Godfather. I love Django. I love Interstellar.
Okay, you love all these films.
Inception.
Make a list, fam. Make a list.
I am
You can catch on Letterboxd.
Get
boy,
your top five.
it follows on
Bro,
Letterboxd.
keep my Letterboxd.
I low-key you can catch us on Letterboxd. You know, we're also on that. But top five is Lord of the Rings as a complete as one. Man of Steel at 2. This is pure enjoyment, not like I'm not ranking them on masterpiece level like filmmaking. 3, I would say Godfather 2. Then maybe Lion King.
Yo, Lion King.
Lion King's
I think it's
litty.
lit.
And then Shin Godzilla.
No way.
Oh,
Shin
nah.
Gojira?
Yo, Shin Gojira is so good, bro.
Just so lit.
All right, can we take a second to say how lit King of
No.
Monsters look like?
Dude, that
Dude,
looks,
King of Monsters looks so
It
it
good.
looks so good.
It looks
No.
Dude, Omer Logan lying right now because
Omer
like
has me
he's
watch
not
that.
into like the Godzilla verse.
Yeah,
not.
like
not.
It's so
like
good.
slowly
It's so stupid.
slowly we're trying to slowly the three of us trying to get
Dude,
Omer
as
into
soon as they bring
kaiju verse.
as soon as they
I'm
bring
into,
in
I'm into that
listen,
cape shit crap.
as soon as they bring in Mothra, Omer will be on it.
Yeah, Omer's gonna be.
Yeah,
Omer's gonna
Omer's
shit.
gonna read on
Somehow Mecha Gojira comes up, then
Mecha?
we shook.
Yeah, dude. No way. I bet no way.
Yo, I'm trying to wait for Space Godzilla
Yeah,
cameo.
Space Godzilla.
Yo, actually,
lit.
Space Godzilla is kind of cool.
Ding.
The whole kaiju is pretty lit.
Yeah, Kaiju is lit. Kaiju is lit if you count every single Godzilla from his party, like some multiverse of Godzillas.
What are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
All right, that's it. All
La,
right,
la,
so
la.
Till the end
So,
of the
I mean-
animals just hit.
It's 3:30.
to keep it 100,
Keep it on.
it's 3:30 a.m. and we're kind of just recording this the night before we drive back to New York City. So hope you guys are just bearing with us on through this podcast.
we know it's not live, so
We
I'm
know, I know, but like we're gonna sound mad sleepy. I'm guarantee
Lucky,
it
so
compared to our other podcasts. But you know, we're gonna have a fun guest next month. He's gonna be.
we'll announce it soon.
We're gonna announce it soon, so I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be back to our interview style. I know this one are more fooling around, kind of having fun, talking about
This was
movies and
Does his
taking
name rhyme
questions.
with Shmei Shmalova?
But it's a cool guest. You know, if people are gonna know him. when we announce it.
I mean, he's been around.
He's been around. He's done a few things. Yeah, he's done a few
You may
things.
know.
You may know him.
Yeah,
So
so
animation.
I'll announce that probably in the next few weeks. I would say, as soon as I kind of like figure out a date.
I mean, let's take a few seconds to talk about NYCC. I mean, we're all gonna
Oh
be there.
yeah. So we're all going to New York Comic Con. All four of us.
Yeah.
We'll be attending.
It's be lit.
You can meet us like
So if like
15
Samir.
bucks each.
What?
No.
Yeah, I'm about
No, if you guys are gonna be there, we're gonna have our riders there. We're gonna be there ourselves, walking around, covering the event.
I think this is gonna be the first event besides the Black Panther Challenge.
Yeah,
The first
the-
event that you like people.
Yeah,
that
as the
know
four of
about
us.
Team
Yeah.
Comic
So
Book.
if you any of you guys are there,
You guys recognize us walking around.
we're gonna be very friendly. Obviously, we'll be ready to talk to you. We'll take some pictures. We'll talk about comics, all that stuff. So we'll be at Comic Con this year, October 4th through 7th. And I guess that's it, right? We guess we covered all our topics. But yeah, a lot of people are gonna be there. Jason Momoa's gonna be there. Amber Heard's gonna be there. The entire Aquaman cast will be there. Yeah, we got Shazam cast is
Levi
gonna be
Levy.
there. Yeah,
Boy.
Zachary Levy, but I already love you both ways.
Levi Levy.
Levi
It's like the
Levy.
jeans.
You know who he is.
Love
Shazam.
So
Billy Batson.
I got a good feeling DC is probably gonna be coming with some stuff at Comic Con this year.
Hopefully.
So
yeah, but I don't think they're coming up with anything like that.
no, we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get another trailer.
Maybe some Aquaman.
We're gonna get a final Aquaman trailer. It might get a Shazam clip or something, and it might get something Wonder Woman.
Hopefully see that one
Shazam.
woman.
So that's basically it, guys. Thanks again for listening. If you want to catch us on our Twitters, I'm at Shiraz Farooqi _. Then we have at Zayyan's at Zayyan Farooqi. Samir is at _ Samir Hassan. And Omer is at what is it? Omer
UM.
UM.
Honestly, if you just go to the comic debate, we're all tagging like the first.
Yeah, we're
on
all
the pin
tagged in
tweet.
it. Yeah.
So.
And then of course we're on Vero, Vero True Social, great platform.
I think that's where we get a lot personal.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're more personal, talking about our own lives. You get like a sneak peek of what we're doing, things we're up to. We talk about like our workshop that we've been doing, and then of course, if you're into like seeing our individual film tastes, our film reviews, our scores, our rankings, and our lists, we're all also on Letterboxd, so you can find us there, and for a much more specific film experience. So I think something for everybody. The Farooqi Bros are everywhere in that sense. And thanks, guys. From myself, you guys anything to add? Or
Nah, I
you
think
ended
that's
up?
it. It's good.
You guys are good. All right. So from myself, from Zayyan, from Omer, and from Samir,
Peace out.
this is Comic Book Debate, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.